Hello, everybody. Amanda here from createyourfuture.co. So today we have a coach from Create Your Future, Denise. How are you doing, Denise?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm awesome. So today we are actually reading one of her clients' success stories. They've manifested back their specific person, their boyfriend. So yes, really excited. We're going to go into how she did it and some really important points. So yeah, Denise, do you have her story there?
I do. So just a little backstory. This is somebody, they were in a long distance relationship. They broke up several times during that period. Then they had their last breakup, and she started applying your principles, following your videos, using law of attraction. And so to bring us up to speed to where we're at now, she writes in and says, I want to tell you what has happened to me. It's such a miracle for me. Last time I told you about my situation, he didn't want to be in a relationship. He wanted to be alone, but I kept persisting the assumption that he loves me and only wants me, that he truly loves me and gives us another chance. And guess what? My desired manifestation was getting back with him, that he'll want to have a relationship with me. We can work this out. He will love me more than before, and we are precious to each other. And I am totally in this state. He wants everything from me. He thinks we can work out. He misses me and he loves me more than before, etc. So she got it. She got it all. Better than before is the part that I really love here. It's like, well, yeah.
Yeah. I know. Sometimes it's like, why do we want it the way that was before? Why not? Can't we make it better than it was before, you know? And especially if it was a breakup, you know how it was before, what it led to. So
yeah, and especially if there were multiple breakups, and then it's really like even more so, like we gotta make this better. Yeah. So she did.
It's amazing. And so she did this through the coaching with you. And one thing that I really love that she's mentioned was that she did this really, her circumstances didn't matter. I mean, how many times did they break up and get back together, right? You know, and, multiple times, and I know sometimes when we think, oh, well, we've been together, broken up so many times, they're never going to give me another chance again. Well, our circumstances only matter if we think they matter, you know. I've always had a belief it's easier to get back with an ex, no matter how many times we've broken up and gotten together, rather than somebody new. Yes. But we can our circumstances only matter if we make them matter, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and she just kept insisting. She just, this is what I want, and he's going to love me more than before. We're going to be precious to each other, and just kept going, and that's what she got. And yeah, it's amazing. It's great.
Well, the two things, is the persistence and then the assumption. Okay, so persisting in her intentions and then constantly assuming no matter what shows up with what we're getting, right? And that's a big part of it. It's believing in ourselves, believing that our thoughts create, and believing that we can have what we really want, and I think that's one of the biggest things to avoid is emotionally reacting, because emotionally reacting is automatically put a block there. I remember one day I was going to go somewhere. I want to go for dinner somewhere, and I'm like, oh, there's going to be a huge lineup, we're going to have to wait, and I was already annoyed before we even left the house. So I mean, right there, I'm reacting to a situation that I'm assuming is going to happen. So therefore, I'm actually creating it, right? So check in with our emotions, right? And if we're feeling anything other than neutral and normal about a situation, then we need to get on top of our thoughts and start persisting in what we want and having a word with ourselves, right? Because it's persistent assumption along with, the assuming that we are going to have what we want, assuming that the other person is going to want what we create them to want as well.
Yeah, and something that I tell my clients on that topic is that the whole point of this, you're trying to create something that's going to feel good and how you want it to feel. And if you're spending time in your now thinking about how it can go wrong and what can happen, almost regardless of whether or not it does go wrong and happen, you're creating that feeling for yourself right now. So why? Like, even if we pretend it's not going to create in real reality, you're still putting yourself through the real emotions and the real feelings by thinking it, because that's what your brain does. It doesn't know the difference between the real reality and what we're thinking. So why even put yourself through that initial feeling of going through how it's going to be devastating or how it's going to not work out, when you can actually just change that story and feel super good about how great it is going to work out and how amazing it's going to unfold and how it's all going to feel. And And yeah. Don't.
Yeah, totally. That's amazing. I mean, you nailed it, right? Exactly. Like why even go down those roads? Our feelings are a manifestation of our thoughts, right? Our thoughts create our emotions. And you're right. If we're not feeling good, then we're not creating what we want, right? And it brings me to an interesting, like, I love that you point that out with your clients, because we've got two choices. We can spend our thoughts or we can invest our thoughts, right?
Like
right
that.
there, where you're talking about, all these things that could go wrong, we're spending our thoughts because we're not investing in what we want in the future. So every thought that we have that we intend and we focus on what we want, we're investing it for tomorrow, the next day, the next day, the next day. So when you're focusing on what you want, you're investing your thoughts. When you're focusing on everything you don't want and creating a bunch of negative, icky feelings, then we're just spending our thoughts frivolously and we're not actually investing them in anything we actually may want, right?
Yeah, that's brilliant. I like that. That's a great analogy.
Neville, actually. I won't take full credit. It's actually one of the Neville books. It's the Wealth Management. It's an amazing book, yeah. But I mean, that's just it, right? We got 60,000 thoughts in a day, right? And the question is where are you going to put them? And the name of the game for me is how many thoughts can I hone in on what I actually want? And I pick and choose what I'm going to create. I don't just go, some things aren't a big deal to me, so I don't actually create them. Somebody once asked me, well, why don't you manifest good eyesight? Because it's not a huge deal to me. Like, it doesn't matter to me. It's not something that's pressing on my mind to do. I'd rather put my thoughts in another area because we've got a limited amount of thoughts, right? And we want to put our thoughts where they count, because the more thoughts we put towards something, the more power we put towards it, the faster it's going to happen. So get clear on what you want, get clear on where you're going to spend your thoughts. It's like your time in a day, I mean, like, why do something that it doesn't matter if you do it or don't do it, right? You've only got so many hours in a day. Manage your hours. You only have so many thoughts to spend. Manage your thoughts and invest them and put them where you want to put them, right?
Yeah. And we only have the ability to be conscious of a certain amount of thoughts. I mean, that will continue to expand as you keep doing this process. But, when it starts out, you realize there's so many thoughts I have that I'm not even aware of and I don't realize I'm having. So that's again where you want to pick and choose. So I can manifest glasses, which will help me see, and that's easy. And then move on to the stuff that really matters.
Now I'm on to the jumbo jet and multiple cruises so I can get Gerry more sombreros, right? Because look at, he's got a little tiny sombrero, so cute. He's like, hola, right? So, he's like, hola.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Better things to do with my time, and to care about yourself enough is something I remind people, is whether or not the reality, like take all that away of what you what's going to happen or what's happening now, and just ask yourself, do I care about myself enough to make sure that I feel good right now? And that's
love it. Nice.
And then decide, yes, I do care about myself enough to not go down this road of terrible what ifs and fears. I care about myself enough to think about sombreros and cruises and my relationship unfolding. And
Exactly. And you know what? I mean, you nailed it, right? Because nobody can make you feel anything. You choose to feel things. Okay. I mean, that's the famous line in my house. If something happens and I don't feel good, I say, I choose to feel upset right now. I'm choosing to feel this way. Nobody can make you feel anything. It's a choice of how you choose to feel, and you choose to feel that way with your thoughts. And it's self-care to, see the good in people, see the good in yourself, believe you deserve to have what you want, and that you're good enough to be and have anything you want. And, and to say, yeah, people respect me for me and love me for me and think Gerry looks cute in a sombrero. Oh, so.
Yeah, and I think it's really important that since we can choose, to understand that that's recognize that that's our power that we have. It's such a beautiful thing that we do get to choose. It's not, we have the choice to decide, I want to feel good right now. I want to focus on this right now. I'm powerful. I can actually disregard everything that's happening and stay in a state of feeling oneness or goodness or hopefulness and not be affected.
Oh yeah, and that is 100%, what it is. It's not the destination, it's the journey. And the journey of constantly bringing ourselves back to the state of our thoughts create, Everyone is us pushed out. We are in control of our reality. We create our reality. We're the God of our reality. If you don't like that term, I'm the creator of my reality. I mean, you're ground zero, you're the one, whatever you want to call it, right? It's keeping yourself in that mindset. And that's the name of the game, you know, and not looking at lack that's not showing up. When something doesn't show up, I say, look at, no, I make the intention again. And I'm like, it'll show up. Everything else always shows up. So it'll show up. You know, and to let go of that needing, wanting, and constantly looking at the lack and getting frustrated at the lack of it not showing up, because again, that's living from the end of not having it, right? And that frustration comes from, where is it? Why isn't it here yet, right? And shift to, no, I always get what I want. I know this works, you know, and keep doing those tiny little manifestations, because they make such a big difference, you know. I remember, I mean, me manifesting fried chicken one day was enough to just blow me away so much that I was like, okay, money block gone. Okay, because I was in awe that this chicken showed up. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, yeah, how's that gonna really happen? Right? And it did. And I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, whoa. I was like, it was one of those manifestations that just really hit me. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, if I can do that, okay, I can do that. Right.
Yeah. So. Yeah. And when we're having those moments where we are looking at lack for the big thing that we want, that's when it's super important to have the other things to be able to redirect your focus. Like if you can't redirect to feeling like you are getting that big thing right now, that's fine. Find relief in knowing you can get fried chicken right now, or find, you know, and really milk those moments where you do get the little things. And then that's making room and bringing you closer to the big one that you want. So.
Well, you know, it's definitely clear from talking to you that there's all your clients get major success. You know what you're talking about. I'm so happy to have you part of the team. If you guys would like to be a success story as well, Denise does do coaching with Create Your Future. The link will be in the description below. Definitely sign up with her. She is absolutely amazing. And yeah, she's helping people get some major results, and we love it. We love it. That's what we're here to do. We want you guys to be successful. That's the main thing. That's why we get up every day to do this, is because we want you guys to be successful. Awesome. Well, thank you. Well, thank you everybody for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And thank you, Denise, for coming on and sharing that success story with us.
Thank you.
Awesome. See you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.
Bye.